Join ChristoLight on this episode of Grand Rising with ChristoLight. The tree of life you learned? That's just base 10. We're going base 12. Most spiritual seekers know the traditional Kabbalistic tree with its 10 spheres. But what if that's just the beginning? Base 12 structuring opens up multidimensional pathways that base 10 simply can't access. We're talking about DNA activation beyond the 22 chromosomes, consciousness grids that connect to higher dimensional frequencies, and a complete template for ascension. Think of it like this. Base 10 is your spiritual smartphone. Base 12, that's quantum computing for consciousness. The traditional system has served us, but as we evolve, we need frameworks that match our expanding awareness. Base 12, Tree of Life isn't just theory, it's a practical map for navigating multidimensional reality. Ready to upgrade your spiritual operating system? Join me live for the full breakdown of how Base 12 structuring can transform your understanding of consciousness itself.
Our founder claims. This right here is an embodied form of the violet ray spectrum. Tap in and tune in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Grand Rising with ChristoLight. Your sacred space for discovering the Ascended Masters in crystal healing. Ashe. Boy, oh boy. Grand Rising, grand day. Welcome to a fresh new episode of Grand Rising with ChristoLight. How are we all this rising? How are we during this time of the day that we're in currently, as we open up this sacred divine space of knowledge, empowerment, awakening, ascension, as well as healing? In this space, we explore and discover the different aspects of our universal 15-dimensional time matrix that we are a part of in this universe. We study the foundation, the blueprints, the alchemical properties of what it is that we are a part of, what it is that we exist in, and what it is that we are experiencing as multidimensional human beings. Now, we've dove into the different rays of light, as well as the different factions, councils, as well as different structurings that make up this universe. We've talked about timelines. We've talked about entity attachments and entity removals. We've talked about agendas that have been behind the system on the earth. And we've talked about activating our Christ Sophia body and activating our DNA. So with that, we have really gave ourselves a much deeper and wider perspective on why it is that certain negativity is taking place on this planet, what time it is that we are in during this evolutionary and transformative time on the planet, as well as what to look for when it comes to mind control, manipulation, and negativity that has been perpetuated in the shadow of our human existence. So with that, I am Marcus ChristoLight. I am your host, multifaceted shamanic practitioner, host of the Sacred Kingdom community, as well as retreat host, producer, and content creator. So to begin this episode, let's go ahead and take a rewind to yesterday's episode. And yesterday's episode got really enticing, just really activating, as we explored the Sophianic light body and what that is in relationship to our human life. Quite wonderful information we came across as we connected to throat chakra clear, as we connected with the Great Mother Blueprint, which is the Sophia. So we're going to take a rewind back to yesterday, take a look at some highlights from this episode that we are leading off of before we begin our episode about the base 10 and base 12 structuring architecture of our blueprint systems.
You're witnessing the activation of your Sophianic light body. This crystalline, multi-dimensional energy structure is your vehicle of ascension, connecting your physical form to your divine, eternal essence.
Cacao ceremonies. And if you guys come out to my retreats, we almost always have cacao ceremonies happening. But we hold the cacao by the heart center, the heart chakra. Then you just continue to breathe into that and just allow yourself to feel the synchronicity of the cacao frequency with your heart center. We are going to be going Egyptian, and we are going to be going into the ancient alchemical oracle of ancient Kemet. Sophia's magnetic heart tone is of universal sonar sounds that are very similar to dolphin and whale speak. Sophianic speak is a sonic heart language which arranges the stanzas of creational code, which generate the musical heart tones which build the layers of Christo's architecture. Sophianic heart language is what activates the Ark of the Covenant codes, which is the key to the door of the house of God, or the crystal shapes and energies in the field. Similar as architectural software that reads blueprints, this sonar sensory ability may become developed in humans as a part of the higher heart light body function. Machinery and that have been used to spread dark mother reversals that clone and replicate the Sophianic female principles via the lunar matrix and the beast machine have been revealed. The negative The Merkaba crystal flower.
Assured that when the demiurge fashioned the first human beings, a spark of her own divine essence, a shard of the pleroma, was secretly embedded within them. That spark is the divine light within us. It is the echo of Sophia herself.
Thus, the natural laws of the Virgo sun hold the divine transmissions for the triple solar Marys and contain the instructions for accessing and obtaining the pure essence.
You will feel that the job is unfulfilling and that you don't need it to lead a happy life. You will realize how important it is to do something that you really love rather than doing something for the money or for fame.
Protect and grow our personal consciousness body The light body is the structure which is required to house the electromagnetic energies of the soul spirit bodies in order to connect with the physical layer of the human body. So that was an episode yesterday talking about the Sophianic light body and its connection to our blueprints, light codes, and ability to continue to have living wisdom of spirit flow through our beings. Pretty powerful stuff, especially when you clear and activate your Sophianic light body and what that truly means. So before we move into our education on the topic for this episode, I wanted to go ahead and bless us with a beautiful oracle card reading for the collective. And today, I'm going to burn a little bit of Palo Santo. Actually, I'm going to go with Sage for today. Got White Sage and Palo Santo, both. They are both very similar when it comes to their acting properties. They both cleanse bacteria. They also cleanse density and negative energy to help bring you back to positivity or 0 point energy. So we burn White Sage or we burn Palo Santo before going into divination, before opening up spiritual portals or energy gateways, so that we don't have any lingering distortions or lingering densities in the way of the channel that we are trying to download from the Akashic. And take a couple breaths and take in the White Sage energy. All right, so our collective card from the Oracle today is going to be from the Light Language Oracle. And it's by Chloe Metcalf. And she directly sits and channels each one of these individual guides. And then she authentically shares what she receives through the channeling with each of these guides for this deck. Pretty unique and pretty cool. And the card that we have for today is one of the archangels, and it's the feminine archangel, Archangel Ariel, with the pink ray and the yellow ray. You can see the light language codes. Archangel Ariel. So I'm gonna go ahead and read a little bit about Archangel Ariel for you guys. So Archangel Ariel represents a lot of the earth. So she very much represents the earth energy, but not just the earth energy, but the creative force that comes from the earth, connected to abundance, prosperity, wealth, and creation. Now, Archangel Sandalphon is more of the anchor to the core of the earth, representing the ancestors, all living beings of earth, and things of that nature. So Archangel Ariel, abundance, prosperity, and manifestation. Ariel shares the act of manifesting money comes from the womb or the sacral chakra. It is intertwined throughout our entire energy system, creating and manifesting new life in our energetic wombs. And yes, this is a part of the man's energetic womb too. Spirit ultimately has no gender. Plant the seed just below your belly button. This is a seed of abundance. It may feel like joy or peace. Let it grow throughout your being and let it blossom into divine abundance. Refocus your understanding of abundance or just maybe tweaking what you already know, because manifesting may flow for you easily. But for others, this is a complete breakdown and rebuild on your core beliefs about wealth and prosperity. Over the next few weeks, make it a priority to read and gain as much knowledge on finances and general abundance as you can. This isn't about greed. It is about having power to make choices in your life and those you love truly deserve. The root of your understanding of wealth abundance may stem from your childhood, past lives, or current life circumstances. Whatever the root, it's time to change your patterns so that you may experience all life has to offer you. Give your prosperity a purpose with a price next to them, and then open up to the universe in ways to manifest them. They may be given to you. The work might arrive so you can earn the money to pay for them, or you may have something you can sell or trade for the items on your list. Prosperity is never limited to money. It's far more fluid. So that's Archangel Ariel. Abundance, prosperity, and manifestation. And I'll also add in there as well to do spiritual maintenance, spiritual hygiene. Is your energy system, is your mind, body, emotions clear? Is it in balance? Are you facing resistance mentally? Are you facing negative patterns? Are your emotions not aligning with joy, prosperity, upliftment, clarity? Those are all things to consider in your daily life, even right now in this moment. And if you notice that there are any of these blockages, distortions, or imbalances taking place, what's something that you can do to start taking steps to clearing and healing so that you may be able to obtain more of your wholeness within your electromagnetic being? So we're going to be deep diving today, and we're going to have an abundance of opportunities through this knowledge that we are going to be talking and dissecting today about the base 12 and the base 10 structures of our blueprint system that we can embody. And understanding the base 12 system and how to embody it can help you as a ultimate manifester in your self-mastery of your reality. And understanding the base 10 system and how to detach from it and not allow it to be the architecture that we live by. It's very subtle, but it's also very impactful, this knowledge that we're going to be exploring today. So let's go ahead and take a moment. I do have a wonderful New Year's retreat coming up, and this is going to be my second annual in Western Pennsylvania. This will be a 3-day New Year's retreat, holistic healing workshops, elemental and land blessings, cacao ceremony, gong baths, homemade plant-based vegetarian meals, and live music. All coming up this New Year's in Western PA. So check it out. Here's a little promo. When we get back, we will dive in to the base 12 tree of life.
Step into 2026 with intention and sacred purpose. Join ChristoLight Healing and Wellness for a transformative 3-day New Year's retreat at the historic Apple Butter Inn in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. from December 31st through January 2nd, immerse yourself in cacao ceremonies, healing gong baths, and conscious manifesting workshops led by renowned practitioners Sadhanam Singh, Jesse Thomas, Katrina Durant, and Empress Dawn Faya. Enjoy live music by Shy Brown and Evan Sturgeon while nourishing your body with plant-based meals and resting in luxury rooms with fireplaces and memory foam beds. This is your safe space to heal, connect with soul family, and consciously celebrate the new year.
All right, so let's get into it. The 12 tree grid. All right, the 12 tree grid. The 12 tree grid is level 1 of the light body. What is the light body? Explore the last episode. We talked about the Sophia light body. It is the architecture of our multidimensional consciousness orientation. So it helps us orientate the blueprint for structuring our material self. The core manifestation body foundation, the structure of the macrocosmic universal tree of life, is replicated within the microcosmic personal tree of life, the 12 tree grid. Individual human anatomy manifests upon and within the multi-dimensional layers structured by the core manifestation template, the tree of life, which is the light body architecture. Every aspect of the universal creation and life spiral are designed and instructed through the blueprint structures. Learning to travel consciously through the universal tree of life is the pathway to personal sovereignty and freedom, the GSF. Intelligence bodies creates the blueprint, morphogenetic field of all creation. So the morphogenetic field is that plasmic-like field that is able to shapeshift and then produce material form. It is a base 12 template and culminates in the crystal star body with cosmic Christ intelligence. 13, 14, and 15 are the dimensions of the threefold flame, which is the founder rays, the Mother, Father, and Christ. See the cosmology of dimensions in our universal time matrix here. So, number 1, there's 12 spheres, 12 rays, 12 dimensions, 12 timelines, 12 DNA strands, 12 base tone harmonic structures that create 144 subharmonics of the cosmic Christ frequency in the 12th dimension. Beyond these 12 dimensions is the threefold founder flame, which is the founder consciousness of our universe. Number 2, 12 spherical, 5 horizontal triad bodies that hold the morphogenic field for the mental body's identities. Each triad body builds the horizontal structure of the tree and the mental body male principle. See horizontal triad bodies built upon the 12 tree grid and rod functions. Magnetize spiritual bodies. The 12 tree grid is much more important than the chakras, because we can collapse the chakras into a working unified field where they are not broken off into dimensions, feeding energies back into the siphoning entities. The CCKM module in HGS manual is about restructuring the white hole and black hole spin point that reconfigure the chakra cones and its matrix to be aligned to become compatible with the crystal star host. The 12D ray and the 12 tree grid is like a homing pigeon that we can attract or magnetize the parts of our spiritual body energies, identities that need to be returned back to the rightful owner, RRO, back into original eternal God embodiment throughout this universe. The 12 tree grid is a process of a spiritual body integration sequence that will at some point be overridden by the crystal host. As the double diamond sun body exists in a different configuration pattern. However, this 12D shield, 12D ray hub handshake configuration is what allows us to phone home to our family of Christ here in the 3D matter timelines. And this is why it's so important. Core manifestation template. The core manifestation template or blueprint is what genetically expresses our DNA into matter. It creates human bodies and projects holographic realities. The frequency split is delineated by what is being created organically in consciousness, by what embodies or holds spirit, by the vibrational quality of the mind that created it, by what dimensional laws of structure it is subject to, and by whether artificial intelligence is being used. On the ascension path, we will be asking the question, is this consciousness that created these blueprints an organic living consciousness, or is it an inorganic artificial intelligence software projecting out these holograms? We are entering a whole new world in the way types of matter are being formed. With pure intention and pure heart, we must access crystal clear intention through all things that we co-create with God's Spirit in order to manifest from the higher dimensions with personal responsibility, purpose, and energetic balance. The 12 tree grid is the first level of structural organization in the unmanifest layers that functions as the architecture that sets consciousness energy into dimensionalization. It is the core holographic template in which morphogenic fields are structured. The 12 tree grid is the blueprint that sets the ratios of energetic balance and core manifestation body, and that is set by the intelligent spirit of the inner Christos, and what is referred to as Christ code. The universal 12 tree grid is made in the gender principle of outer male Christ coding and inner female Christala coding that merge together to form interwoven nested patterns. These patterns create dimensionalization through which consciousness can come into manifestation as an individualized form. The Christ code. The Christ code is what resets the core light body architecture into the correct mathematical ratios and structural lines of energetic balance. And these precise angles control the spin direction and align the entire consciousness body into setting a neutral still point in the core manifestation body. The neutral still point in a creation point in which the God source generates a feedback loop with the individual spark of light. And this enables a 0 point return back into all of the individual's consciousness layers. and this naturally builds the light body to house the inner Christos. The Christ code arranges correct mathematical proportions in the 12-tree grid, the natural function of which is to generate the light sound spark of inner Christos, which generates a perpetual energy supply and eternal life expression. This makes it possible for the eternal source supply held within the body of the carrier of living consciousness to be continually maintained with the God source, exchanged within the center point, throughout all stations of identity, traveling through multiple dimensions simultaneously. Very good stuff so far. If you guys have questions, feel free to comment, or if you have anything to add to this as well, or any epiphanies, feel free to drop the comments as well. And if anybody would like to hop on the live, have a little bit of courage, and show themselves on the screen to talk a little bit about this, just let me know and I'll gladly send you the invite. DNA assembly. Previous to the Atlantean fall, each of the groups of the angelic human 12 Essene tribes were entrusted as guardians of a section of the Emerald Founder records, which held extensive consciousness knowledge about the star origins and genetic template information that was recorded on 12 holographic discs. All 12 genetic components of the 12 tribes hold one strand or DNA code for reassembling the crystal gene for the diamond sun body or the silicate matrix, which is our Sophia diamond light body. That is key coded to activate the 12 layers of the planetary Stargate system. This provides the means to contact our higher stations of identity as spiritual bodies and to connect with the conscious living light and sound frequencies in the holographic matrix. The instruction sets to rebuild and reassemble the 12-strand DNA pattern are held in the genetic keys found in the cosmic Christ Crystalla blueprint, which makes up the 12 tree grid manifestation template. The diamond sun body represents full consciousness freedom for an ascended human being, in which the inner Christos is fully activated with the flowering of the sacred crystal heart. As a result, the spiritually ascending human is able to transmute their consciousness out of time and into 0 point, moving through stargates into another location. Therefore, they are free to leave the prison planet, freed from the enforced mind control and reincarnation cycle occurring in the lowest densities of Earth. Natural order. The base 12 mechanics represent the natural order of the universal time matrix, an organic creation and inner sustaining architecture that connects directly with the God source field for an unlimited supply of consciousness energy. This is an open source energy structure inherently referred to as the Christos blueprint. The mathematical expansion for inner sustainability. The crystal architecture is self-perpetuating and inner sustaining. Its math is represented by including 0 point or 0 in its numerological sequence. 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, etc. Through doubling each numerological value, each of the numerological values derived through returning to 0 and adding all of the numbers together to get the next highest value in its sequence. The value of 0 represents the central point of union, or 0 point God source. While increasing the values of the crystal spiral, the consciousness remains connected to the original source field while progressively expanding. And then it talks about the universal ascension matrix and how it demonstrates the 15 dimensions or the 15 spectrums of frequency that we move through. So there's a couple things I'd like to click on and kind of give you guys more insight into. Let's check out 0 point and what 0 point field is. So I'm sure a lot of us have heard about 0 point energy and may just need a little bit of connection on what 0 point energy actually is and how to consciously attune yourself to it. This is connecting a lot of dots for me and touching my heart. I'm really glad to hear that, Bree, and grand rising to you. Grand rising to everybody that is here live. Thank you guys for being a part of this container and helping anchor in these codes so that we may embody our truth, our wholeness, and our wellness and eternal wealth and abundance. I got some cacao. I don't know about you guys, but I love cacao. I have some Peruvian cacao with a little bit of raw honey. Cheers. Gotta love cacao. Grateful to be here. Feels spirit nudge. Felt or feels spirit nudging me today. Literally going to make cacao right now. Oh, I love it. Cheers. And I am a Cowboys fan. Shout out to my Cowboy fans. I know we deal with a lot of hate as a Cowboys sports fan. And I just want to say also too, my love and condolences to Marshawn Nealon and his family, as he is a current or was a current football player, only 24 years old, that had lost his mother last year and decided to commit suicide just 2 weeks ago. So definitely hits home, especially as a fan of the team, and could feel the pain and the connection of what his teammates are going to have to go through continuing forward this season, as well as his family, which he does have a pregnant partner currently. So there's a lot of things to really feel and digest about this suicide that Marshawn Nealon took of his own life 2 weeks ago. And it's very relatable for all of us in this world. So with that, I just give my heart to anybody that is going through similar things or going through wanting to take their life due to losing their mom, their dad, family, and just feeling like you don't have that connection in this world. Cheers. May he and his family and all those that knew him be surrounded in love, comfort, and support. May Spirit provide all that is needed in this healing process. Ashe. Ashe. Thank you, Bree. Yeah, it brought a lot of grief for me, honestly. That was definitely shocking. This really shows you like just how real, life is. And we gotta look out for each other, man. Like, we really gotta look out for each other. Especially if we do know that someone feels a certain way because of an experience in their life or because they lost a parent or a loved one. We just really gotta look out for each other and be there and support each other in the ways we can. So 0 point field. The 0 point God matrix field, the source of our genesis, the central point of union within our universe, projects itself through the cosmic trinity, which is the threefold founder flame. It is the 13, 14, and 15 dimensional rays, the mother arc, father arc, and the Christed child, to create the prism of multi-dimensional life throughout the universal time and space fields. The source of the 0 point field is the infinite energy supply of our God creator that is contained within all living things. Love is a radiating, strengthening, and unifying force spiraling into the upward movement towards the central point of oneness, the 0 point. The force of love naturally aligns itself back into unity with the 0 point field. The unified heart of the universe, the absence of love or hatred, is a disintegrating, separative, and weakening force, which absorbs light and energy away from the central point of oneness. The more absence of love, the more absence of living light. And as a result, darkness is manifested through the process of fragmentation into successive layers of density. The crystal star mission is to unify all creation with unity consciousness vibration. As we can heal the internal separation by synthesizing the polarities of our 3D electromagnetism into the 0 point or the neutral field. The 0 point or neutral field is the heart of the God matrix, the energetic core and the source of all creation, the still point of wholeness. And now we're going to look at natural order and what natural order means. So, natural order. The base 12 mechanics represent the natural order of the universal time matrix, an organic creation and inner-sustaining architecture that connects directly with the God source field for an unlimited supply of consciousness energy. This is an open source energy structure inherently referred to as the Christo's blueprint. Base 12 or natural order of Christo's blueprint. The divine blueprint, which holds the original intention for the natural order of consciousness evolution within our universal creation, is encoded in the base 12 mechanics of the Christo's blueprint. At a cosmic level, the same open source architecture is referred to as Christalla, the unified masculine and feminine consciousness energy that exists in perfect harmony and balance within the organic creation. That's so funny. I was about to say the Christ Sophia, and the next sentence it says, the base 12 universal androgynous Merkaba fields of Christo Sophia are also referred to as Christ Crystalla architecture. So the Christ Sophia, or you can say the Yeshua and Mary, is also the Christ Crystalla architecture. It's the base 12. So as they make up the instruction set for all Merkaba fields within the timelines and densities throughout the universe. And then it talks about Jesus right here. So thus the term Christ or Christos used in this context is not denoting the individual being referred to Jesus as taught through the world religions. Christos extends way beyond all meaning associated with planetary consciousness and actually describes the state of eternal cosmic consciousness, the title given to a free cosmic citizen, Christ consciousness. So aberrations cause damage. Violations of natural order over multiple millions of years, there have been many warring conflicts that generated deviations from the natural order and caused an assortment of aberrations, such as planetary grid damage, consciousness body fragmentation throughout the universe, the primary historical timeline trigger events in human galactic history that generated the most serious damage, such as rips and holes in the fabric of space and time, or during the Lyran Wars, Orion Wars, and subsequent wars that led to the utter destruction of an entire planetary consciousness. We can talk about Lemuria, Atlantis, and you can talk about, oh man, what was another, the Electric Wars. The Electric Wars go back before Lemurian Atlantis to Hyperborea. So the 5D planet Terra exploded millions of years ago as a result, and it was sucked into a reversal black hole, which fragmented the entire fifth dimensional planetary blueprint into 12 planetary bodies in our current third dimensional solar system. The 12 planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Maldek, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Nibiru, and then the Sun Star. Current science recognizes only 8 planets of the 12 in our solar system, along with dwarf planets. Within the 12 planetary bodies, we can again note the 12 base math is reoccurring and represent in the macrocosm of our solar system. Much of the consciousness was originally incarnated on Terra, currently exists on the Earth, has been subjected to repeating recycling and fragmentation without an alternative that allows for continued consciousness evolution or biospiritual ascension. The Paladorians embodied all of the genetic tribal records for the planet Terra that existed before the destruction of the planetary body, and preserved all of the genetic records for the race lines within the Mother's Aqua Ray. As the Blue Flame Arc technologies are progressively coming online, this allows for reintegration of many soul fragments through the Mother's Aqua Ray, an ascension pathway is anchored in the matter fields, which allows for genetic rehabilitation and reconnection with our original Christo's blueprint to restore the direct God source connection. Beautiful. Good stuff, man. I think there might be like one other thing I wanted to dive into, and then we'll watch a video. Then after the video, we'll break down the artificial base 10 structure and how to avoid and reattune ourselves into the 12. So let's see here. Ah, yes, blueprint. So I wanted to read what blueprint meant. So you guys had the definition here from Ascension Glossary. So blueprint. Consciousness is energetic intelligence, which can be both undifferentiated units of qualities of energy or arranged in specific blueprints that direct or influence all matter forms. What is contained in the blueprint will govern the form or govern the body and the thought forms, and direct the intelligence and the energies associated with that blueprint. The 12 tree grid in the light body are holographic blueprint matrices that are built upon sequences of sacred geometry. In order to change the body or heal the heart, one must first change or heal the energetic blueprint and or spiritual plan. When we become aware of painful distortions, we have the power to apply consciousness to change our energetic blueprint. This example is well understood in the field of general construction. To add another bedroom, put recessed lighting in a kitchen, to rewire the electrical outlets, one would hire a construction crew to draw up the plans and then remodel the existing home structure to reflect those plans. If the plans are drawn up shoddy, if the workers are careless about the quality of their work, and the supervisor is without knowledge to build the specification in the plans, the final result of the new construction can be disastrous. Humanity has experienced the same disastrous result to their home planet by following the energetic blueprint put in place by the extraterrestrial controllers. This planet is our home, and it's guided by extraterrestrial sociopaths of the negative agenda, using an energetic blueprint designed to harm and enslave the human race through behaviors that inflict soul damage and heart abuse. In order to change the structure, we have to recognize the alien machinery blueprint and how the controllers of the false king of tyranny capitalize on the collective fear of humanity to keep it in place. When we recognize the fear mind control program, we can refuse its control over our personal sovereignty as eternal soul beings. This gives us the personal power to replace the alien imprinted blueprint with a new healthy, balanced, life-affirming, and humanitarian plan for our individual selves, relationships, our families, children, communities, and eventually the entire planet. Achieving inner balance to spiritual marriage. This constructive crew example works in the exact same way for every part of our personal multidimensional energy bodies. There are plans for each body that govern exactly how the body functions at all levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. If one is willing to become aware of these bodies, one can increase the health of the bodies to reconnect the higher levels in order to remove stress, fear, confusion, and pain. As one grows in awareness and desires to connect with the consciousness intelligent of each body's blueprint plan, one is able to make frequency alterations that impact how the body and its energies function. As the bodies and their energies function in a more connective, cohesive manner, the ability of the physical body to communicate between the soul matrix, the monad, and the Christos avatar. The Christos avatar changes the energy architecture plan to reflect trinitized forms which override all previous intermediaries that have acted as vampiric towards the being. In order to directly exchange with the eternal source, eventually when stabilized, this purges the shadow cells and the higher inner communication changes all of the external communication in one's personal relationships. One goes beyond karmic entanglements of shadow manipulation, relationship confusion, and expands to a new ability to experience and enjoy truly loving balance and healthy relationships. This is a direct result of one's spiritual ascension process, one's direct relationship with God and Christ, which results in the inner spiritual heritage, the inner spiritual marriage of the Hieros Gamos, which is the Christophia. So the Platonic solids as sonic geometry. So the Platonic solids. You guys listened to Terrence Howard last year. Terrence Howard was super popular last year, and he was talking about what he called supersymmetry. And he was talking about the multidimensionality of geometry and the base 12 system instead of the base 10 system that we were under. And Terrence Howard was actually talking about this base 12 crystal system that had been kind of tucked underneath the rug by modern science. So that's why what he shared was so impactful. But then at the same time, he was also facing a lot of resistance because a lot of the grid of the false matrix, as well as the main conditioning and programming, and a lot of the human beings on this planet were of the base 10 programming. They weren't able to fully see and attune themselves with what it is that he was delivering. So he fought a lot of resistance, judgment, things of that nature to those that were just out of tune with the base 12 system. Oh yeah, Terrence is definitely a pioneer. I'd love to meet him one day for sure. So the Platonic solids as sonic geometry. The sonic geometry's light symbol codes are based in the Platonic solid shapes, and lines of light are programmed from one dimension above when they are being directly placed in the field. This is accomplished by directing geometric codes or mathematical shapes, which form into light programs into one-dimensional area in order to direct the appropriate sound frequencies into the dimension above it. In directing certain light code symbols in a specific dimension of time and space, the architect behind the making of the blueprint is simultaneously directing sound wave frequencies in sonic geometries into that dimension that exists above it. Remember that sound makes geometry forms, which become patterns made visible through light. The interplay of light and sound must be used together in the creation of energy fields and forms, and thus the male and female principle are always entwined and working together in some capacity in the mechanics of creation. Hmm. Light symbol codes. Very interesting. All right. So now we're going to take a break from reading from the Ascension Glossary. I have a feeling you will meet him. Oh, for sure. I have a feeling I'm going to be meeting a lot of figures, especially as I just continue to stand in what I have and what I know and what it is that I am a vessel for. And I've just been steadily growing and expanding as time goes. I definitely trust that I will be making such beautiful connections with those that I dream of meeting. No doubt. Thank you. All right, so let's play our first video. This video just happens to be 3:33 long, 3 minutes and 33 seconds. So this one is going to be about the 12-dimensional Kathara grid, or the Tree of Life grid. And then we will then take our reading into base 10 and what base 10 architecture is. And then we will watch a video that then covers both base 12 and base 10 for you guys to sum it all up. All right, so you guys enjoy this video.
Kathara grid, right? Here's those lines I told you about, the demarcation lines between the density levels. All right. Now again, you could look at the 15-dimensional one that looks like the egg with all the little bands in it, and you could see the same thing. That would be D1, 2, 3. Then you'd have your magnetic repulsion zone, void, there. And then you'd have 4, 5, 6, another void, 7, 8, 9, another void, 10, 11, 12, another void. Then we get into other stuff that we don't get into until we get into the echo maps, because then you understand what's above this. We already know above here, right, the next thing you would have would be D13, 14, and 15, which would be the primal light fields. And then you have primal sound fields. But then what? Do you fall off the edge? I mean, is the universe flat? The world's not, but is the universe? No. So later we'll learn what's there. But this is where we begin to understand the science of the shields. Now, what has been for ages used, the term shields, or that's what it translates into in English anyway. The word shields refers to the very specific scalar wave disks that form the divine blueprints or templates. Now, there's a shield that corresponds to each density level. It's called the density shield. So in a 15-dimensional time matrix, density 1, which would be dimensions 1, 2, and 3, has a shield that is made of the frequencies, or the Partakai pulsation rhythms, the frequency bands of D1, 2, and 3. So you'd have a shield for density 1, another shield for density 2, another shield for density 3, another shield for density 4. All of those would exist within the density 5 shield of the universal 15-dimensional time matrix. Right? When we begin to understand the shields, it helps us to understand our anatomy, though, as we'll find a little later. The planet also has shields. Earth has a shield. Its density 1 is Earth. All right? So this would be the Earth shield on a planetary level. If you want to look at it on the galactic level, it would be the galactic shield, or the solar system shield, the solar shield or the galactic shield. This would be Tara in terms of the planet, because Tara is in density 2. We see it as a star up in the sky here, but its physicality, physical matter body, is in these frequency bands, 4, 5, and 6. So the Terran shield would be here. Now, going up another density level to the next level up of this planet would be Gaia. When we look up in the sky and see the star Polaris, our North Star at the moment, that is the place called Gaia. A lot of us have Gaian history and have Terran history. We're starting to get pieces of memory back from when we were on a place called Terra or a place called Gaia. If you were having Gaian memory, it was when the place is called Polaris here now. You know, that's what they've named our Gaia, and they've named our Terra Halcyon. Right? So, anyway, the Earth, density 1, Terra, density 2, density 3, Gaia, and again, density 4, the universal shield, Aramatena, Lyra, double. Right? The shields become interesting because you can also look at it as, here you have your physical incarnation, your gross matter density body, or the planet does. Here you have your semi-etheric Let's say it's the planet Sol is Terra. Let's say its oversoul is Gaia. Let's say its avatar level self, its first full expression, is Aramatana.
So that is just a very, very brief insight into a teaching about the 12 spheres and the 12 tree grid. And she also broke down how there are 3 different dimensions within each density. So there's 3 dimensions per density, and that makes a sphere. So we have 3 spheres, the first 3 dimensions, and then the next 3, and then the next 3. And then once you leave those spheres, you then go into your Christhood with the 12 dimensions, which is 10, 11, 12. And then you break out of the time matrix, or you break into the manifestation matrix after the 12 and go into the founder matrix, which is pure sound, the threefold flame, sound and light, no material form. I have a strong connection to Alcyon. My guides tell me my oversoul shines through it. Very nice. Alcyon, that is connected to the Lyra gates of the higher spherical dimensions. Makes a lot of sense why you anchor so many codes and just are a very natural channel for connecting into the guides and the Akashic. Super interesting. I've been channeling this term tri-flame, which I don't understand. Oh, interesting. So the tri-flame or the threefold flame is just the 3 primal light fields. So we have the sound fields, and then the light fields, and then it goes into the 12 dimensions as manifestations of the sound and light fields. Now, the threefold flame is the blue flame, which is the Emerald Order. And the blue flame, the Emerald Order, that one is guarded by the Mahi Grail Melchizedek line. And this blue flame or blue ray represents the masculine or the father arc, which is God's will. So it's that eternal presence that creates the foundation and the eternalness of the will to continue to live and exist. And then you have the pink flame, which can also be associated with the amethyst order. And that represents the female arc or the mother arc, which represents compassion, regeneration, healing, the ability to overcome, and the ability to have unconditional love while going through experiences with God's will. And then you have the third, which is the yellow flame. And this represents the Christed child, which is the embodiment of going through the journey of incarnation as both the mother and the father through embodiment. And that is the yellow ray. And it goes up the middle of the pink and the blue flame. Let me go ahead and actually show you guys a image of what the threefold flame looks like. And you guys can go on ascensionglossary.com, this website that I'm using here, and you can type in the threefold founder flame and it'll come up. So I'll share what this looks like to you guys real quick. So if you take a look here, this explains it very in depth to you guys what this is, and then it gives you an idea of what this looks like as well. God Sovereign Free is the GSF. It's the reminder that we are God because we are source experiencing itself. We are sovereign because we have free will as an individual, and then we are free. We have free will to be able to use our own energy, mind, body, emotions to freely alchemize and live in this existence. Yep, Ascension Glossary is a great resource, and just like anything else in life, not everything is going to be 100% resonance with what it is that we believe or that we are aware of. But that is the threefold flame and what it represents, to keep it brief. So let's now go into talking about the artificial base 10 architecture and what that means and looks like. So as you guys can even just see from this graphic image here, it's showing down the middle what the base 12 looks like. And you can see that the base 12 makes its way all the way through the physical body, but then it also expands above the physical body, going up into your upper dimensional realms. And then below, between the feet, you can see a point that is anchoring you into the core of the Mother Earth. So it's pretty key that we have those anchors aligned with our architecture so that we are anchored properly to the Father or the heaven realms, and that we are also anchored properly into the core of the Mother Earth. Now, when we're in base 10, which you guys can see the base 10 being shown here as kind of phantom or shadowy with the base 12, these gray sapphires. The gray sapphires represent the base 10, the typical tree of life that people study. And what you can see here is that the base 10, it cuts off and ends at the top of your physical head. Then it cuts off and ends at the bottom of your feet, right at the feet, not below the feet. So what happens is it keeps your energy system and your electrical system only circulating through your material body and through the material dimension. So then you allow yourself through your free will experience from experiencing the connection of the 12 dimensions and above, as well as the core of the Mother Earth. This is important because if we're disconnected to the core of the Earth, then we are going to be ungrounded. We are going to be disassociated from the pureness, the groundedness, the nurturing, the abundance, the supportive energy that Mother Earth brings us. Then if we are disconnected from our higher realms, the heavenly realms, then we are going to feel disconnected from spiritual guidance, from our higher instincts, from being able to feel a connection to our higher self. So this is super important stuff. It's also the difference between a open source living structure and a closed death structure. Death energy keeps you in cycles of reincarnation. Living systems and living energy keeps you in an eternal flow of continuous growth and expansion. There is a difference in this existence that we are in. And this is where the real knowledge comes in. This isn't just you're born, you just do nothing, you're inaccountable, and then everything is handed to you, and then you just turn into an ascended master. There's work to do. There's shadow work. There is understanding our identity. There is clearing out traumas. attuning ourselves to certain frequencies. And there's different things that we do in our day-to-day lives to help maintain and keep ourselves in alignment with our Christhood. And Yeshua is a big example. Yeshua did fasting, affirmations, he did meditation, studied the occult knowledge like we are now, and all these different things. And that is what allowed Yeshua to be so clear and so in tune with his Christhood. So let's go ahead and talk about the base 10 mathematic structure and the architecture and what that means in totality. All right, so base 10 math. Grand day, Sarah. Welcome in. So base 10 math is the artificial core manifestation template and is built on base 10 math and is a intentional distortion of the 12 tree grid manifestation template or the Kathara grid that is built on base 12 math. This distortion to the natural order compromised the integrity of the universal tree of life, core manifestation template, which is the basis of all energy to matter manifestation. Essentially, the Thothian Luciferian agenda was to utterly destroy all organic creation code, matrices, and artifacts that included base 12 math and replace it with their own versions of base 10 math. The patriarchal slant and the use of the artificial tree of grid to project virtual realities distorted the original base 12 code into the base 10 code, eliminating the 12D ray, which caused a reality split, the artificial and organic layers throughout the dimensional timelines. There were sections of the dimensional matrices that remained organic and others that split into artificial timelines and were absorbed into phantom matrices. So let's take a look at the artificial tree of life. See what that means here. Ah, beautiful. So it's talking about the difference between the fragmented flower of life and the non-dual source code lotus of life and the energies that they both carry. So Metatronic reversals connect to Metatronic implants in the shadow body or the negative form that are designed to reverse and drain life force energy out of the earth body and the human body. The shadow body or negative form must be created from the human light body in order to reconnect the ascending potential of the 12th dimensional template of the human body. The unnatural configuration was built by the negative agenda via alien machinery that use artificial intelligence to parasitize the Earth's life force to achieve immortality. And this organized dead energy structure is referred to as a tree of artificial life, or the black tree of life. So then it talks about Kabbalah and its artificial tree of life. Be aware of what you're studying. Judaism's Kabbalah and the artificial tree of life is based on the inverted teachings potentially given by the Thothian groups to generate reversals by the knowledge given in the original founder records. This is overseen and administered by the Yahweh Collective located on Saturn. The Kabbalah esoteric information was brought through in pieces from distorted patriarchal Melchizedek intelligence that have been captured and reverse engineered through their own original knowledge of the universal tree of life and the quantum mechanics that are included in the 12 holographic plates of the Emerald Founder record. The Red Cube Egyptian Pantheon. The artificial tree of life was cloned into a substructure in which the Red Cube Egyptian Pantheon tree is used as the main grid architecture for cloning Ceres and Egyptian identities from Terra that are connected to the Azarites on Gaia. These Red Cube cloned identities are used to power up the black magic, money, debt, enslavement structures put in place by the Orion Group and used by the Cabal bankers to manipulate financial markets and maintain global wealth in the hands of the satanic and Luciferian bloodlines. Now we're getting deep. Talking about the red cube and the cube worship, the black tree of life, the imposter, false religions. And then we're going to talk about the dismantling of the Orion Matrix AI. So the Orion's Belt Alien Machinery Complex is another Pindar Thoth Azazel artificial technology network that was utilizing the Emerald Founder records and cloned Azurite identities to generate false holograms in the phantom timelines that appear as the original Solar Rishik founders, similar to the findings during the Thuban reclamation last year. The Emerald Order, Amethyst Order, and Gold Order imposter inorganic consciousness architecture was embedded in the Thothian AI systems connected to each star in Orion's belt, designed to emulate the falsified threefold founder flames of the unified Solar Dragon King body of the Solar Rishi and the Melchizedek lineages. The authentic Solar Rishi, Sunstar bodies, and Melchizedek patriarchal lineages were cloned out in the artificial tree of life. Phantom timelines and their inverted mirrored holographic imagery was used to place energetic overlays upon power elite identities of the negative agenda's preferred genetic lineages that comprise the Luciferian or Satanic hybridization bloodlines. The Doth portal and the Gruul points. During the most recent 1010 window, the base 10 architecture met with a massive cross spiral of Christic forces that dissolve and annihilate sections of the infrastructure of the AI signals used by the Golden Eagle Grid. The Golden Eagle Grid is a gateway portal in Iraq and Iran. And yeah, connects to the horizontal axis point of the grid network. It's in Iraq and Iran. And that tells you why they're so active over there. Pretty interesting things. So back to the base 10, war over timelines. There has been an acceleration in the war over the timelines involving artificial base 10 architecture that supports the holographic projections of artificial timelines used by the negative agenda to generate splits and inversions through the Earth's dimensional fields. The controllers continue to abuse their power on Earth by destroying the energetic balance in creation through the abuse of artificial technologies, which are built upon reversal 55 Fibonacci formulas for building morphogenic structures in base 10 math. This is a system that exists outside of natural order and natural laws and is entirely artificially driven. Through the use of base 10 architectural technologies in the artificial tree of life template, they learned how to use mind control programs that infiltrate into the planetary mind. These mind control programs could capture souls and dominate them while existing in their artificial realities. This was intended to manipulate the souls of other species to become their consciousness slaves. And they had used these same technological methods of artificial intelligence on other planets. So reversal current, the Fibonacci spiral. The current conflicts are primarily over maintaining base 10 architecture and Metatronic Fibonacci coding that use the artificial tree of life constructs, which exist as negative controlled artificial machinery within the planetary body. The base 10 architecture uses an artificial core, manifestation body, and distorted birth transduction sequence that runs reversal 10 current. This reversal current runs through the technologically controlled sections of the planetary field which force splitting, which implements the artificial timelines that project the artificial spaces or phantom matrices. A phantom matrix can be considered a virtual reality hologram with a finite energy source. The structure is entropic and parasitic, as it must rely upon an external power source through which to siphon energy to continue to exist. the blended Earth reality. During the ascension cycle, those serving the Christo's mission are attempting to dismantle the distorted base 10 artificial tree of life, using an assortment of artificial technologies to project artificial timelines. Those that embody the Christo's blueprint have returned to the Earth to support these template corrections. Through the restoration of the core manifestation body, we return back into its natural base of base 12 math. Base 10 artificial tree of life. During the Atlantean timelines, the distorted core manifestation template or the artificial tree of life became increasingly popularized. A finite source architecture that promoted anti-life science that would be used to generate an assortment of death cults upon the Earth. It's the same core architecture that is currently known as the Kabbalah Tree of Life, that consists of 10 nodis symbolizing the dimensional spheres, which are considered to be the spiritual pathways of consciousness exploration. The students of Kabbalah or the esoteric science are taught that this artificial tree of life represents the totality, the encompassing all aspects of consciousness existence. The columns of the base 10 artificial tree of life are usually symbolized as pillars, which connect the inorganic four directions used to control the cosmic clock in the Yahweh matrix. For the guardian perspective, the Sephiroth, meaning the divine emanations, as defined in the 10 attributes of God as described in the Kabbalah, is a part of the esoteric teachings of Judaism that was directly influenced by the negative agenda groups. Negative agenda groups promoted the esoteric knowledge to the secret societies in order to hijack human being collective consciousness to feed their base 10 architecture in the artificial tree of life. This is an alien machine placed in the planetary field to split off organic timelines and create artificial ones. The use of the artificial tree of life in rituals for service to self is common to incite black magic in many spiritual disciplines, and this is designed for the purpose of maintaining the artificial timelines and artificial machinery of the 10 architecture running in the earth fields. Thus, Judaism's Kabbalah and the artificial tree of life is based on the inverted teachings intentionally given by the Thothian groups to generate reversals in the knowledge given in the original founder records. Due to the patriarchal domination, distortions infiltrating the universal Melchizedek lineages as brought through the artificial timelines from the hidden negative evasion, the original universal tree of life was disfigured via Metatronic coding and reduced to 10 spheres instead of the original mathematic base of 12. Essentially, the agenda was to utterly destroy all organic creation code matrices and artifacts that included the base 12 math and replace it with their own version of base 10 math. Kabbalah represents the distorted 10-dimensional base code genetic blueprint of the Black Sun regressive lineages that are attempting to permanently genetically modify and hybridize the human 12-strand DNA genetics through the imposition of their artificial manifestation template. Wowzers. So we'll read these last two and then we'll close out with one more video to recap base 10 versus base 12. So soul fragmentation. When the earth was infiltrated with the base 10 reversal architecture, it was more specifically designed to support Black Sun hybrid DNA programs. Every soul group with base 12 coding was split into smaller units. These fragmented aspects were then stapled to the Earth grid as a power source, and many were trapped within the Golden Eagle grid. This generated a massive problem with monadic and soul family extension placement throughout multiple timelines as the incarnation imprint of transductant sequences became infected with base 10. The intergenerational healing. Thus, intergenerational and ancestral clearing, collective human race and 12 Essene tribes healing, the correction of gender reversals, false parent archetypes, the extraction of the fallen angelic overlays, and related base 10 architecture have been especially emphasized in shifting the soul group's genetic records from out of the artificial timelines. In the Guardian Host mission to fulfill the Paladorian Covenant, this alteration made in the magnetic imprints of the 3D birth records has been specifically extended to spiritually support the reclamation of the original identities of the lost souls of Terra. And I'll actually go ahead and read this as well for those that are grid workers, for those that like to consciously connect to different energy points on the Earth and different stargates. The Golden Eagle Grid in Iran. The heart of the Golden Eagle Grid holds an important global control axis, which is in the Iron Gate, or the Iran Gate, or the 10th dimensional stargate. So the Golden Eagle Grid in Iran and Iraq is a 10th dimensional sphere stargate. So in order to maintain the entire global network of base 10 mathematics that run the architectural tree of life projections, thus running reversal 10 current into the horizontal ley lines, the negative agenda must maintain control over this demographic area, as well as the functions in the Gold Ray Seraphim network. This area of the Iran Gate contains assorted alien machinery, which includes a Anubian Blackheart, which is designed to run 10th dimensional current in reversal and scramble organic frequencies when exposed to the Earth's surface. The construct is called the Reversal 55 Grid, which produces artificial and inorganic timelines that are based on the Fibonacci sequence that manifests in Metatronic reversal. This is programmed to reverse Merkaba ratios based on mathematical doubling of harmonics related to the number 5, used by Thoth grids to hijack the human 12-strand DNA from the astral layers and thwart the progression of ascension of the Earth and humanity. The transmissions for New Age hijack, such as the false Archangel Michael channeling, are broadcast from this location in order to manipulate the New Age movement to ultimately serve the negative agenda purposes. I think we're going to close out with this actually for the reading. New Age Ascension Disclosure Hijack. Yeah. Wow. So, since 87, there's been a specific space task force assembled by the Thothian Luciferians and the members of the Galactic Federation to control, and the Galactic Federation as in the negative version of the Galactic Federation, to fully control information given to the waking population for the purpose of complete takeover of the New Age, Ascension and Disclosure movement. A comprehensive, multiple-pronged militarized approach was organized in order to gather and collect all the technological and human resources that would be necessary to build an extensive artificial neurological network with silent sound technology. This would be used to target starseeds and indigos, as well as control all transmissions of channel material that would be sent to the awakening population in the guise of friendly ETs, false ascended masters, and even deceased famous figures in human history. As the ascension cycle intensified and humanity was being monitored, many friendly enemies deals were made to enlist the further support and the resources of the reptile insectoid collectives to cull the public into submission with implementation of assorted mind control techniques and technological fences. Although these groups have their own separate agenda, these enemy deals made them allies and were primarily headed by the most hostile Dragon Moths and Zeta Draconians from Orion. Thus, many people on Earth were and are contacted by human and non-human imposters, compromised from these operations that are in the military alliance to gaslight and lie to the Earth people about many ongoing themes of global concern, for the purpose of intelligence, handling, and controlled opposition. These operatives have infiltrated many areas of the New Age, Ascension, and Disclosure community. They are on the ground and in space, hidden behind the many false front organizations in which their primary job is to attack dismiss, and debunk unapproved topics through mass propaganda and character assassination themes. The purpose is to take over any truthful information about the planetary ascension or disclosure event that happens to seep through the multidimensional communication gateways. When awakening people start to more easily receive telepathic transmissions from a variety of sources that cannot be prevented. Wow. Such good stuff. And you guys can go even further on your own into any of this knowledge by visiting ascensionglossary.com. Really good stuff, though. And this makes a lot of sense, too. You know, they do this thing where they attack, dismiss, debunk unapproved topics, their mass propaganda, and character assassination. I mean, you think about the gaslighting, the character assassination that you see in the mainstream media when it comes to certain figures and those that are doing things differently from what we have commonly seen from these governments and from these cabal-like structures. It's very intriguing. Just an observation. And it makes a lot of sense why they character assassinate a certain someone and other figures that are actually trying to bring light to these shadows, help bring disclosure, and speak about the things that happen in the darkness of our planet and government for so long. We deep in it now. Oh yes, we definitely deep. We are in the deepest of the deep. I work with Thoth a lot. Should I stop? So I want to actually bring that up. These Thothian groups that they're bringing up. These Thothian groups. So this is what can be confusing. Is the original Thoth, the organic Thoth, that is an ascended master and is a guide that helps us through the multidimensional planes. That original organic Thoth is a organic spirit guide, is a organic archetype to help us on our journey. Now, what you learn through galactic history is that the organic or original Thoth lineage had offspring. And this Thoth lineage is connected to the avians, which are basically the elders to the reptiles and elders to the dragon lineages as well. So what happened was the Thoth lineage of the original organic lineage had offspring, and then some of that offspring went into self-righteousness and went into its own negative polarity. And then what happened is some of the offspring of Thoth, the original Thoth, they became polarized in negativity and had self-righteous ways of life. And then they started teaming up with the Orion Draconians, the Insectoids, the Zeta Greys, so on and so forth, the Anunnaki. And then this offspring of the Thothians, they are the ones that ended up going to Nibiru, and they teamed up with the Anunnaki. And then with the Anunnaki, they started creating false religions, and they created the imposter spirits, and they started cloning and replicating false versions of our organic guides and ascended masters, so on and so forth. So that is what the Thothian groups is about. I know that can come off as very confusing to where we think it's talking about the organic and original guide of Thoth. It's the same with Archangel Michael. It's the same with Yeshua. They take them in their original blueprint, they replicate it and clone it, and they create these false holographic imposters of them. And that's what you see today with Jesus. You have the original Yeshua blueprint, and then you have the imposter version, which is the Caucasian Jesus Christ that is based off of a death cult instead of a eternal life cult. And then what happens is we start to worship that energy, and then what we do is we start to worship death. And then that death energy is more of that base 10 structure. And then we embody more and more of that base 10 structure instead of our Crystala base 12 structure, where we know that we are never separated and we are the embodiment of the Christ. Because if you study the Kabbalion, if you study the Hermetic principles, the things that the original Thoth brought to this world, those are not base 10 ways of life. Thoth teaches that we are the I am with no separation, and that we climb the ladder of eternity a million times upon a million times as the child of the mother and father. If you've truly read the Emerald Tablets, you can definitely tell that stuff is about crystal oneness, universal consciousness as the I am. So just pay attention to what you're reading. Is it about the I am? Is it about universal consciousness and speaking upon the I am as in you too, and what you're capable of accessing and what you also have the power of? Or is it a teaching that is kind of saying, hey, you can only access this Christ energy or this power of God by going through me, or by going through these organizations, or by going through this church, or by going through what I have to say? And that's a big difference. The difference between empowering and open source living and enslavement, mind control, and death cult living. The I am. That's right. I love the Emerald Tablets. Yeah, the Emerald Tablets are awesome if you haven't read them yet, for anybody out there. And I actually have a few episodes. If you go on my YouTube playlist, go to Sacred Light Community Nightcap, my Sacred Light Community Nightcap series. I actually started diving into, on screen share, the first couple of tablets of the Emerald Tablets. And basically I go through it, I share my downloads, and I show any correlations as well with the teachings that he's talking about. Very well said. The fakes or the false ones always say they are needed. The real ones don't want you to depend. Yep. They will always lead you back to your own empowerment, and to remember that you are the one that has free will. Very activating and powerful. Bless you, dear soul. Bless you as well. If you guys haven't seen my shirt yet, I'm wearing Bruce Lee today. Bruce Lee is a awesome, I would have to say, ascended master on this earth. He teaches a lot about inner Christ activating and being able to own your own power and how to cultivate and utilize it for the better. He is great. So let's go ahead and watch our final video. It's a kind of shorter one, but it's basically going to summarize the base 12 and base 10 structures, just to give us a nice little closing recap of what it is that we dove into today.
When God made man in his image and woman in his image, it was a base 12 mathematical code, not a person in the sky. And this mathematical code is the eternal life code, which was imprinted on every living thing, every cell, every tree, including the original celestial human 12-stranded DNA. The 4th, 5th, and 6th stranded DNA is the soul. The 7th, 8th, 9th stranded DNA is the oversoul. The 10th, 11th, 12th stranded DNA is the avatar inner Christ. Now, if you look at the artificial tree of life, Kabbalah tree of life, there's 10 spheres. The fallen angelics, Illuminati elders, cut themselves off from source through repeated free will choice and changed the eternal life code to base 10. This consumes energy to create energy. There's good news. Every human being has the morphogenetic field for the 12-strand eternal life code, and the language of the potential DNA to reactivate the eternal life code is sound, light, and frequency. And the original light language, Anuhazi, from which all other languages in this universe come from, is key-coded to naturally, gradually start reactivating the 12-stranded DNA. For those people who resonate, I've created a Rapid 12-Strand DNA Activate Your Inner Christos online course, which 12 techniques and sacred songs and symbols in the original light language Anuhazi to reactivate in a natural, gradual way your 12-stranded DNA potential. For those who resonate, check the link in the bio, the 12-strand DNA course.
And that is Samuel Lee. Samuel Lee is a MD. It is someone that is a great resource for this kind of information. He has a YouTube channel and many other channels as well. You just type in Samuel Lee and you'll find all of his podcasts and content on YouTube. He is a very excellent one to listen to. So as we close out, I wanted to share just like a little bit of light language for you guys. And I also wanted to invite Bree, Soul Healing with Bree. I wanted to invite her to come on and share some closing light language if she would like to. So Bree, if you're in the comments still and you would like to come on to share some closing light language codes, I'm inviting you to do so. Just let me know in the comments and I will send the invite link in the comments for you. Wow, what an episode today. Life-changing information. Very life-changing. Give us a little Palo Santo. So just know that, emotions may arise as you continue to transform and enlighten your being and your paradigm shifts of your perception. And just know that old patterns and old perspectives and old tendencies may also get triggered and come up to be removed or cleared, processed. And also too that sometimes those dots are going to connect more for you of the bits and pieces that you've gathered over time. Just remember, this is a continuous process here, this ascension journey. There really are no destinations, and it's a continuation. Even when we heal something or grow through something, there is a continuation of a new beginning. All right. So I don't see anything from Bree. Again, Bree, if you are here, I'm inviting you to hop on the live and share some closing light language if you would like. So just let me know in the comments and I'll send you the invite link so you can share some light language to close out. All right. So I'll go ahead and share the light language for us then. Get comfortable. Allow yourself to be open to receiving if you would like at your own free will. I'm going to channel and send some light language codes for you guys from our 12-dimensional field of light. Allow yourself to receive. Maybe even focus on the breath. You may also close your eyes. Yana shikina kunanani yamana imianatu tu shiki menatu utini anana kote manasini anakoma ina shutuina akutina na shuto mina kotene te usini ki natapiyama Usimiana tuku anana ineshena toka utemianata. Clearing out our base of fears, clearing out our main centers. Inshinamoko nanana di nanamoyanakina tota inatianata. Bring it to center in the heart. Deep breaths. Now I'm going to begin to ground in from the soul star. Divine organic blueprints of purpose. Organic timelines. Grounding them in, down in through the crown and the causal in the back of the head. Semiana tukuana iashina kunukuana deniana sutuyananda. Clearing our third density, clearing our second density, clearing our first density. Fears. Drawing it in through prayer form to the heart center. Usime nimiana kutuana miyamana shinikiyama yamiana kutuana ma yakiana tote mayena sutuyanata. Namaste and Ashe. Thank you for receiving. Thank you for being here and sharing the space today on this live and this replay. And for all of you out there, have a blessed, beautiful rest of your day. Take care of yourself and reach out if you need anything. As we close out, there's going to be a promo or a preview into the Sacred Kingdom community. It's a worldwide community that I host. And you guys will be able to see some insight in what is available for you guys to connect with through the community, as well as what you could be a part of if you become a community member. So stay put, enjoy, and get a look into the Sacred Kingdom community. I will see you guys on Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, live for What is Consciousness Episode 2 with fellow Sacred Community members. See you then. Thank you guys, and one love. Hey, what's going on? Marcus ChristoLight here, founder and member of the Sacred Kingdom community. I am so excited to share with you guys the directory and some insight into the beautiful members that we have a part of the council of the Sacred Kingdom community, a international, worldwide, sacred community of soul family, full of starseeds, visionaries, artists, practitioners, shamans, as well as handcrafters and organic product makers. We have such a beautiful variety of amazing quality of organic products, including crystals as well, holistic and quantum healing services, all available in one link page directory for you. And you guys may be able to find who resonates for you, either locally in your area or online through the Sacred Kingdom community. So take a look. Welcome to the Sacred Kingdom community link page, where you guys can access everything Sacred Kingdom that's available worldwide 24/7. First link you'll see is the Facebook page, and you'll be able to take a browse and follow, keep up with any activity through Facebook if you're a Facebook user. Then we have the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is designed with a playlist for each member that is a part of the YouTube channel, so you can access and see content specific to each individual. Now we have holistic healing retreats that are led by myself, Marcus ChristoLight, ChristoLight Healing and Wellness. And then we have other members of the community that join in with these retreats to help build and bring connective community. These holistic retreats have workshops, live music, plant-based food, and much more. Then we have Lunar Queen and Organics Essence. This is an online crystal shop. She has a wide variety of crystals, greatly priced, high quality, organic with no dyes. Along with that, she also does card readings, and you can book with her. Then we have Eagle's Hearth Ministry and Sacraments, Grandma Katie Singh Eagle, with her tinctures, salves, lotions, herbal products, and much more. Jade's Wellness Trade. Jade's Wellness Trade is a fully organic line, all plant and herbal based when it comes to home hygiene products such as soaps, shampoos, conditioners, and much more. Operation Oscar Mike. Wow. Where to begin? A good fellow of mine, AJ Lardy, his friends Scott and Eric, own a alternative healing nonprofit business to help military and first responders to bridge with alternative healing. Sacred Light Healing and Wellness, myself, Marcus ChristoLight, Reiki, Akashic meditations, as well as inner child healing, shadow work, and more. And then we have Shining Soul Healing and Wellness, QHHT, quantum hypnosis, as well as herbal-based healing products with Sarah Broadhead. Soul Awakening with Sandra Marshall out of California, a wonderful podcaster, as well as lecturer and educator. And then we have Soulista Healing with Christina out of Pennsylvania. You guys can check out our link page anytime. And you guys can browse and book with services, purchase crystals and organic products. Along with that, we also do host retreats together and other events. We have online spaces like full moon and new moon events, and much more to come. Tune into our podcast on the YouTube channel, Sacred Kingdom. Reach out if you'd like to become a member and grow with this community as we continue to bring generational wealth and healing to all generations of planet Earth. One love.